few morning ideas on a positional side. Let's talk a little bit more about Ranbaxy and the fact that we've got its Mohali unit also after Ponta Sahib and Devas now under the scanner. Form 483 has been issued by the US FDA for the Mohali plant. Remember, the stock has been selling off very drastically over the last few days, ever since we've got that import alert that had come in for the other plants. Ranbaxy now at 333 in today's session also, which is lower by about 4 1/3%. We'll get you some more perspective on what this means. Joining us right now, we've got Surjit Pal. He's a pharma analyst. He's here with us. Surjit, more bad news for Ranbaxy.
Yeah, I mean, this is very unfortunate, even if these things happen, and it also occurs in the latest and the very new plant.
All right. Sujit, sorry, couldn't hear you there. But now, while some are still saying that even though that this has come about on Mohali, it was but obvious that, if, 1 or 2 plants have been put under the scanner, it would be probably expected that, even Mohali would have ultimately been probed into. This is much to read into, at least from a financial point of view right now. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I do agree, because Mohali hardly any product they manufacture, because it is only fitting into their medium to long-term strategy of transferring a lot of product of home labs which are facing, space crisis. So they might be transferring a lot of product into Mohali plants and manufacturing from here on. So that plan might be stalled to a certain extent, and also atorvastatin production from Mohali to increase the volume to be sold in US market also could be hampered because of that. But I believe all the things already been reflected in their strategy for short term, because given the press given the press note, which I believe is that definitely it mentioned that it has happened a couple of months back, and that could be one of the reasons. We don't know yet what could be the reasons, but that could be one of the major reasons for Diovan to be stuck for such a long time, almost a year.
Do you, after this at least, do you see a big sentimental negative amongst, pharmacies here, hospitals that had, some of them had earlier on refused to give out Ranbaxy drugs? This will just add on to the pain?
I think these are the two different things to discuss. First of all is that definitely from investors' perspective, it will definitely appear disaster, I would say. Because when a company does not maintain transparency about these are the things going on, when these companies any company is going through a crisis, that will definitely shoo away all the investors in short term and the credibility of the company. And second point is that when they are through, in long term, they could not even make a point to these big investors, because they will not believe them, and for a long time there will be dryness for any big guys to enter into the counter. So I think it is overall it's a pure disaster. They should have been more transparent in terms of what's happening, because 483 is not very sensitive in terms of companies' fundamental thing inside.
Right. This is obviously going to have its bearing on the Q1 numbers, which we'll start seeing trickling in from July. What sort of an impact on sales are you witnessing because of this, or are you probably going to be factoring into numbers?
No, that's the point. That's what I said just before this, is that it's a pure disaster for which company will be pitted against bad for no good reason, because next quarter it will not have any kind of impact in terms of revenue expectation, because Mohali hardly contributes anything in current times. But they will be punished in terms of valuation and in terms of mood of the investors, because they could not maintain the transparency. And generally people believe that if they hide something else, then they could stop this erosion. But the fact of the matter is that they really impacted the company's sentiment for a long time.
So bottom line is that you're saying that there's no revenue impact or no change in numbers that you see on a quarter-on-quarter basis for Ranbaxy. It's just a sentimental dampener. At 334, what would be the call on the stock?
See, currently I am positive on Ranbaxy in terms of valuation, but this kind of news which is very privy to the company management, which is not outside, definitely will impact the sentiment. And valuation may not be impacted, but the prospect of the company will definitely put in limbo, and that could raise the questions about viability of the projections or viability of the prospect to prosper going forward.
Got that. Thanks very much, Surjit. Appreciate you taking out the time. That's Surjit Pal there with some comments on Ranbaxy and the latest US FDA probe, the Form 483 that was given for the Mohali plant. Stocks down 4.5%. We'll take a short break on that note. We'll come right back and discuss lots more on the other side.